to justify a future privatization of an institution that is older than the Constitution and destroy unionized jobs with decent wage for its workers. They are closing postal facilities in many rural areas and poverty cities where the service is needed most. Reducing hours of attention to the public in many post offices, affecting the service that American citizens deserve. And now, they want to sell postal buildings, especially those where they can get more profits, such as the historical monument that is the Berkeley Post Office. I am positively sure, with the unity of the Berkeley citizens, the support of people from different cities, brothers and sisters from different organizations, and the postal owners, we are going to succeed to stop the sale of this historical building. With this unity, we also will succeed in preserving our United Postal Service as a public institution that belongs to the American citizens. The Postal Service belongs to us, and we will not permit to be privatized. Right. Just to finish, I want to say, and say it loud and clear, the Postal Service is not for sale. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose Carlos Riquelme. And his brother Dave is a former postal worker. How many years did you work for the Postal Service?
Only 25.
25 years. To all those, who's a postal worker in the audience, if you're allowed to say? I don't know. You don't have to hide. Quite a few people, maybe. I know. Retired postal worker. Let's thank her for her service. And your brother in Colorado as well. Thank you, ma'am. And he's a veteran as well. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
35 years. 35 years postal worker. While we're giving hands, there's Leela, our sign holder, and I want to thank her parents for engaging her into activism.
Jay Henderson.
Oh, Jay Henderson, postal worker.
26 years.
26 years. Special request to get people out of the street. We don't want anyone hurt. So move forward. Everybody can squeeze in.
Yeah, come on up this way. Please
Stay on the sidewalk and nobody gets hurt.
Everybody needs to be on the street.
Kirsten, Sally, you can help shepherd people in to the sidewalk as opposed to the street. Down this side, you can stand. You can come up here if you like. Come up on the steps. Make it a full circle.
Yeah.
We don't bite.
Just
stay out of the street, please. 3 or 4 of you are still in the street. You're not following rules. That's the Berkeley way. We do want to give a parallel. Everybody come in the inside. We don't want any news tonight of people getting hit. You're still in the street, a few people. I'm going to hold the mic until everybody comes in the street. I mean, out of the street and onto the sidewalk. Keep coming forward. A room on the steps. Everybody gather around. And this reminds me, everyone, about the civil rights movement, that this is a parallel between three approaches to change, to social change. Right? We had marches and rallies. We had lawsuits, Brown versus Board of Education. It took a long time to stop segregation, and it took a lot of methods to do it. And we had legislation. Litigation, legislation, and activism. Those three elements, I think, will combine to succeed again in this movement to save our post office. Our next speaker, Jacqueline McCormick, is going to tell us about the National Collaborative, which is retain lawyers to stop the sale of this building and others. Thank you, Jack, for coming to the stage and all your work.
This is great. I love this energy. Can everybody hear me? All right, I'll try and speak up a little bit more. I'll use my outside voice.
Wait a minute.
All right.
Wait, I'm going to get to the guy on the street. Just a minute.
Okay, we got to get guys out of the street.
Guy with the banana in your pocket. And you have come forward to get on the
Right to his front pocket, folks.
Okay. Guy with the hat. Come on the street and then we'll talk about it.
All right, here we go. This is a huge job, because we're not just looking at saving the Berkeley Post Office and post office buildings, historic post office buildings. we're looking at saving this nationally. These post offices, our legacy, the public trust that has been bequeathed to us, the American people. That is what we're doing. And we're going up against the federal government to do it. So it takes huge assets and a lot of chutzpah to get it done. But I'm asked very often, even in my own household, why I want to take on this fight. And it's for the same reason that George Washington fought the King of England. We're not fighting the King of England. We are the people of the United States. When we're called to task, we step up and we do what needs to be done. And we need to save our legacy. The public trust that was prescribed to these post offices and to us, the American people, and the United States Constitution cannot be broken. It's inscribed. It is given to us as a right, a public service into perpetuity. It is no different than our national monuments, our national forests. What's next? Yellowstone brought to you by AT&T? I don't think so. No. We are going to save these post offices legally. We're going to fight on 3 accounts. The first 2 are process related. One has to do with historic preservation. The other has to do with the impact of closing these post offices and losing jobs nationally, and the impact to the people of every community in this United States. And the third piece of it is the public trust. Back during the New Deal, Franklin Roosevelt built 1,500 post offices and decorated them with people in the communities to put them back to work. Our grandparents, our parents built these post offices and decorated them. They did it so federal government would have a presence even in the smallest village of our country. And that even in those smallest villages, public art would be available to people who would have no other option to see art installed. Some of the travesties that have happened through these sales, the Turlock Post Office, the art was removed and sold to a private party. In the case of Venice, the post office was closed, sold to a film producer, Joe Silver. The LA Conservancy took the covenants that were demanded by the Historic Trust, and 6 times a year for 1 hour by appointment, you can see the murals in that post office. They have taken public assets, public trust, and moved it away from the people. The further away people get from our government, and the closer corporations get to our government, the less of a voice that we have. The only way we can get this done is through ensuring that more people in this country understand the issue that we're facing. The loss of our assets, the loss of public trust, the loss of art that belongs to the people of the United States, and the public service of the post office that belongs to the people of the United States.
And our way of life.
And our way of life, thank you. Because corporations are people now. And they aren't people, they don't have a soul. And that's been proven time and time again. So I'm asking you, every person here has a network outside of Berkeley. Every single person here. Please let your friends and family know outside of Berkeley what we're doing. Go to the website National Post Office Collaborate and sign our petition. Support us in our legal efforts. $5 will make a difference because we're facing, again, we're fighting with the federal government whose assets are, that's it. Well, they're taking them from us, they're selling them, so the corporate, but their assets are so deep, it's hard for us to even keep up with our legal bills. But we're doing it, and we're doing it because we love what we're doing and we care about this. This week, the historic Glendale, California Post Office is going to be put up for sale. They made that announcement this week. We are going to take our show on the road and engage activists in the community so they will do what we're doing here. We need to do this throughout the country. So I thank you for your support. Please tell your friends and family we need your energy and your perseverance to get this done. Thanks so much.
This is that. Some people have said they don't know my name because they've come and gone. My name's Moni Law. I'm a member of the steering committee for Save the Berkeley Post Office. And our next speaker to the mic will, and oh, I have to do a quick thank you. Here's Louise, 10-year-old early activist, and his sister Leila said she wanted a nap. Thank you, Louise and Leila. They've been standing up here, and Leila got a little tired and said we needed a nap, so I think she's with her parents. Our next speaker is going to be Nina Serrano, a poet local to Berkeley. Our next speaker is Nina Serrano, poet.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, Nina.
Yeah, let me know how the stream is coming out, folks. Somebody said it was a little laggy earlier. Hopefully the bandwidth issues have been addressed.
Hello, everybody.
We're doing our best.
We're bringing performance poetry to the Berkeley Post Office. This is my granddaughter, Molly McGee. So we're going to need a little help with this. So when I say, I got a letter today, you say, what did the letter say? And then I'll tell you what the letter said. But after I tell you what the letter said, you say, oh yeah. Can we rehearse? Yeah. Or you think we can do it without a rehearsal? You're okay? This is Berkeley. Okay, let's begin. Here comes Molly the mail carrier.
Hi, Nina. I've got some mail for you today.
Oh, thanks. Oh, you are? Oh! Oh!
That'd be quite awesome. Allston Tech here.
Remember these? For you young folks, this is, for you young folks, this is called a letter opener. I have to get the mail carrier to open it for me. I got a letter today.
What did the letter say?
It said, Dear Grandma, we are so excited. We're expecting a baby in February. Lots of love, Susie Q.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, get the mic up. There's lots of people here.
Got another letter for you.
I got a letter today.
What did the letter say?
Let's see what this letter says. What is the letter? Oh, Dear John.
Dear John.
Oh, how I hate to write this letter to you tonight, but my love for you has gone like the grass upon the lawn. And tomorrow I wed another, Dear John.
Oh, yeah! Well, here's another letter.
Oh, another letter. I got a letter today.
What did the letter say?
It says, Dear resident, you are the winner of 10 million tax-free dollars. Please send us your bank account number right away so we can deposit it for you.
Oh, yeah!
I got a letter today.
What did the letter say?
Dear student, with the receipt of this letter, please know that your request for a full scholarship with free room and board and all the textbooks provided has been granted.
That's all the mail for today, Nina.
Well, I hope that the post office stays open and keeps bringing us love letters and checks in the mail every day.
Another great skit.
That was wonderful. Thank you.
Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip,
Thank you very much. Hip hip hooray for Nina and her granddaughter. Fantastic. Molly. Thank you, Molly and Nina. Next up, we have Mike Lonergan, and say your name right. He designed our website and keeps us up to date. Today, he's going to keep us up to date on the good news and the bad news from Congress.
CPWUnited.com.
No, get the bad news first and get it over with.
Good news is
United.com.
short. The bad news is long.
Do the bad news first.
Good news first.
Okay.
Good news. Back in the Bronx, Congressman Jose Serrano, he's on the Finance Committee. He's the ranking member there of the subcommittee of the Appropriations Committee. And he's put language in the spending bill that calls for the Postal Service to refrain from the relocation of services, that's what they're trying to do here, from historic post offices, and to suspend the sale of any historic post office until an audit is completed by the Postal Service Inspector General. It's a good thing. And Serrano is the same man who got the Inspector General of the Post Office to conduct this audit. It's going on right now. They're asking for public comments. And the main question is for any community that's experiencing a sale, they want to know, do you think the Postal Service follows proper procedures when disposing of historic buildings? So you can answer that on their website. You can get a link from our website saying the BPO, or you can Google it with OIG historic properties and it'll come up.
Yeah, but I use the mail. How should I do it? I use the mail.
And you can use the mail. You can get their address and use the mail. What we don't know about this is, will the Postal Service voluntarily comply with the House bill and suspend sales and relocations? Or are they going to wait for the appropriations bill to become law? And then, will the appropriations bill become a victim of, Washington gridlock? So that's the good news, and it's kind of thin, but it is something. It's something that we can act on. And the bad news is pretty bad because it comes out of Darrell Issa.
Darrell Issa.
Yeah,
McCarthy.
And it comes out of Washington, D.C., where
that's how
it's
Darrell
really
Issa
a
got his start,
lesson in
folks,
how
with stealing cars.
we're here today because we're here for the common good, but there's a move that's taken democracy away from us and really giving our country over to corporations. And the way the Issa bill moved through Congress really speaks to that. We all know Bernie Sanders. He's a great guy. And a good man from Oregon is Congressman Pete DeFazio. The two of them introduced back on February 13th the Postal Service Protection Act of 2013. And all around the country, people like us, signed letters to our congressmen, went and talked to our congressional representatives, went and talked to our senators. We didn't get as much as we should have from our senators, but we went and talked to them. And that bill has got 165 co-sponsors in the House. It's got 28 co-sponsors in the Senate. It establishes a chief innovation officer to lead in the development of new postal and non-postal products and service to maximize revenue. Despite all the support it is, and it's introduced back in February, it hasn't been heard yet in Darrell Issa's committee. That's what it's got to go through. This bill provides comprehensive reform, preserves service, and doesn't attack workers. But that's not what happened last week. Darrell Issa's got a postal destruction bill. That's the only thing to call it. It's got two co-sponsors. It was introduced on July 19th. That's not very long ago. Instead of an innovation officer, it establishes competition advocates to promote contracting out and privatization. It's endorsed by the Coalition for a 21st Century Postal Service. They endorsed it on July 23rd.
Is that Richard Blum and his wife?
It's 37 corporations and trade associations, including FedEx, Pitney Bowes, and the National Association of Advertising Distributors. Before this coalition would sign on, they had a vital concern before they'd endorse it, and that was maintaining the CPI-based index rating system. Huh?
Yeah, huh?
What is that? Well, you kind of got to back up a little bit. And it's a little counterintuitive because everybody thinks, you know, the letters that we mail, somehow that's not generating enough money. But every first class letter covers 200% of the post office's cost. Yeah. That letter you mail,
Seems like
the
since
post office is
T-Mobile's
very
entered the
efficient.
service, it's gotten crappy.
But as you might guess, the National Association of Advertising Distributors, they do those catalogs and those advertisements. So between periodicals and what's called standard mail flat, the post office lost $1.5 billion last year. And that's 60% of the Postal Service's operating loss in fiscal year 2012. So that's what they don't want the post office to be able to raise it. They want to peg that to the consumer price index. So that was the price of their endorsement. So okay, so you get 37 corporations that endorse it. And the next day, July 24th, ICE's committee approves it, 22-17 vote on party lines. All committee Democrats voted against the bill. Any amendment submitted by Democrats was rejected. And there's some bad stuff in the ICE bill. It's a right-wing trifecta. It degrades postal services, it attacks postal unions, and it pushes privatization. Here's some specific provisions. It immediately ends Saturday mail delivery. Our first-class mail, the mail they make money on, it imposes a 2 to 3 day delivery standard for first-class mail. It slows down first-class mail. It consolidates, closes mail processing plants. It ends front-door mail delivery by 2022 unless residents pay a fee to have mail delivered to their door. Yeah. Who's represented in that? It eliminates our right to appeal a post office closing if there's a postal contract station within 2 miles of the post office that is being closed. It attacks labor. Right now, the post office has some layoff clauses that mean even though they've reduced the force, nobody has been fired. That gets thrown out. As far as negotiations go, it imposes last best final offer binding arbitration on labor negotiations. It removes postal workers from their existing workers' compensation system and imposes a new system with lower benefits. And here's the final one for you guys. And it kind of goes back to the whole debt thing that was being talked about earlier. ICE's bill establishes a supplementary borrowing authority for the Postal Service. It requires the Postal Service to set aside real property as a pledge against this debt. Yeah. It is a sense of Congress that the Postal Service should dispose of such real property as may be necessary.
Yeah, right.
You guys are really inspiring. And we got to fight back, and seeing the resistance here is really, really inspirational. Thank you.
Well, we don't know about you, Lisa.
I want to thank everybody here. It's about time to transition to our next MC, but before I go, my name is Moni Logan. And you're welcome. I want you to sign the mailing list, get on our email list, our phone list. If you don't have email, please sign up and make a donation if you can. You don't have to. It's under $1. Do come and support us in the future. This battle's not over. It's just begun, and we got a lot of work to do. We need you. Next up, Harvey Smith, about the New Deal. He is going to be your next MC for the second half of this program. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I want to also thank real quick, because I'm going to lose my Ying is here, and she's been working for a long time on this activity. Ying Lee Many of you know and love her, and from this activity I've come to know her, and I want to thank her as one of my role models. Sally, who's been out here every weekend. Sharon, who's helped organize this, and you're probably losing her mind about now. Has worked really hard. Suzanne, Kathy, all of you,
and a little chow here. We see a lot of occupiers coming down here. Pretty good demo. Hey Jim, can I borrow a cigarette? Okay, cool. Hey folks, I'm gonna let the camera sit still for a little while. Take a few minute break. The signal keeps lagging. I gotta get the hotspot going. So I'm gonna leave the camera for a little bit, folks. So taking a little break. But I'll be around, be back here.
Don't leave the visual area.
Great opportunity to reach people that allow talent to do now. One of them is I'm involved. We're going to work on the finest we can. Not only an artist, but a lawyer, and been involved in working for a long, long time. So I'm not a lawyer. Thank you, ma'am. I know people have things. And I expect that you'll join me in the old church song with the words change, and it starts out soon and very soon we're going to change this world, and I certainly will. So I hope you'll join me. We are going to change this world. Smooth and very smooth. We are going to change the world.
So I can read it.
Smooth and very smooth.
I'm into architecture. I think Maybach Tower. You know Maybach, right? Yeah. This is an art back there. You know, they can't. They'll fuck it up. They'll make like shops in there and shit. You know, get the flavor of Berkeley. That's not Berkeley. What? Yeah. What? Oh, mural.
Hey, bring your bicycle. Come on. What? Bring your bicycle. Bring your bicycle.
My wife is gone. I've lived there 29 years. sign of it. It might be in the back of my truck.
Oops. Whoa.
That's somebody's
Sorry,
videoing here.
It is. The chair started rolling.
Am I pointing it in the right direction?
I don't know. I didn't mean to almost clobber you.
Isn't there a lock on the brake? There we go. I think you're back.
Oh, wait, there we go.
I'm always back. There we go. Heather's cooking up lunch food on 38. Are you cooking first? Good, nice turnout. Yeah, shooting people out of the street for some reason. This is supposed to go on all night. I think somebody told her that. Black Rock will show out. Well, supposedly the mayor all voted against this.
Yeah, folks, I think I'm going to take a little break from the live stream here. I need to get something to eat and replenish the batteries for a few minutes. I'll be back up again in about 10 to 15 minutes. I have to do a little social networking here, and so I'm not going to be able to attend to the live stream.